So, Tanvi, after you've selected your college, which we mentioned, and your courses, which we mentioned in the previous video, guys, go watch the previous video if you haven't. And so now we come back to your exams, right? Once you selected your college, you need to know what exam you should give, and basically any scholarship if the university, that particular university offers, and how do you apply to that. So, if you could take us through the process.
Sure, sure. Okay. So, like Gaurav mentioned, once you have selected your university, you need to understand what are the exams which are required or what is the general requirement for you to get admission into that university. Now, at least for gender studies, my basic requirement was an IELTS exam, and the cutoff for depended from university to university, but mostly a minimum requirement of a 6.5 overall score, with no score in any of the individual components below 6.5 was accepted in the universities, and this cutoff went as high as a 7.5 overall score, or in some cases also 8. So you need to first understand what are the requirements and what you need to be aiming for. um, Canadian universities also accept a TOEFL score, so there is often a question as to would it be better to give IELTS or would it be better to give TOEFL. So my general advice is to stick to IELTS if you're only applying in Canada, but if you're also applying in multiple countries, like for example, say the US, then you might want to consider TOEFL as well. Yes, that is one. Plus, I cost about 15,000, and as far as I know, TOEFL fees, like exam fees, are slightly more than your IELTS fees. So that's one. Now, one more wonderful part about IELTS is that recently they amended a little bit of the rule component. So previously, what used to happen if you did not score well in one of the components, say your listening was perfect, your writing was perfect, and your reading was perfect, but you couldn't score as much in the speaking, right? Previously, you had to give the entire exam again to
Right.
make sure that your scores are up to the par. But now you can appear for just that component where your scores are lacking. So I gives you kind of an edge over that as well. Okay, so that's one thing. Now, when it comes to exams, this is not something that you can control, but like most of the time, what happens is when you graduate from the Indian colleges or from Indian universities, your GPA, grade point average, is out of say 7 or out of 10. Now, most Canadian universities have a GPA system of 4. Okay, so they would require. So, how do you convert this GPA? Of course, you can't convert. So there's something called as a WES evaluation. So if you just like Google search WES WES evaluation, you can submit your official transcript. So you can ask for your transcript. You can upload them on this web page, and they evaluate your profile for you, and they help you convert your GPA into a 4-point GPA as required by the Canadian University. So that is the second thing that you need to look for when it comes to the examinations, because obviously, for example, my university said that they had a cutoff of 3.5 out of 4 GPA overall. So I had no way of knowing what my GPA was. So a WES
Right.
evaluation helps me understand where I stand and if application to that particular university is possible in the first place. Okay.
Right.
Now, a lot of Canadian universities, the public ones, they offer tremendous scholarships. There are multiple scholarships like that. One is one is specifically for like for Indian students. So you want to kind of like look through the scholarships that each university is offering for Indian students, or for like for people traveling from Asia, or if you qualify for any other scholarship. Now, for example, if I'm pursuing, say, medical studies or medical research, something in that area, so there are a particular scholarships every department provides as well. So if I'm going to pursue gender studies, I would look at if my university is offering scholarship for people who are pursuing gender studies in the first place. So
Right.
there are broad scholarships which are applicable for majority of the Indian students, or you have scholarships which are department wise. That is the second thing. Now, a lot of Indian government schemes also makes you eligible for like fee waivers or scholarships for like Indian students who are flying abroad. So you might want to kind of explore that field as well. Government of India has a lot of schemes like that. Specifically, if you belong to any of the marginalized communities, it's an added advantage because that is like a minimum requirement for you to apply under that scheme. So that covers about the scholarship options. And in addition to that, once you start pursuing your course in any universities, uh, depending on your research topic, sometimes a supervisor might also fund your entire education for you. Or otherwise, after completing 1 year of your studies, sometimes you're eligible to apply for more scholarships. Again, depending on what your research area has been, or what is the work that you have done so far, and what invaluable contribution you have made to the university. So accordingly, it depends. So an overall advice would be to keep an eye on two things. One is the university website. Second is the like the Indian government website for any scholarships that you might come across.
Right, and you start looking for these scholarships like way before in advance, right? A year and a
Yes,
half in advance.
yes. I think that is very important. Look, so when most of the times for the fall semester, okay, the fall semester starts in September, and most Canadian universities would open up their portals for application for the fall semester 1 year in advance. Okay, so if you have to apply for September 2023, you need to start keeping an eye on the website, university website, since about September, October of 2022 of this year.
Right,
And the applications are open till December. Some are open till January and February as well. So you need to keep an eye on that, and that is the window that you get to apply for scholarships also. So as you're submitting your application to the university, you can also submit your application to whatever scholarship the universities are offering for you. Okay. Now there is one more kind of scholarship that I would like to talk about. It is called as the Erasmus Plus or the Erasmus Mundus. So Erasmus Mundus and a lot of universities are affiliated with the Erasmus Plus scholarship. Like, so if your university is an Erasmus university, then Erasmus Plus scholarship start a little bit earlier than your usual scholarship, and these scholarships are extremely competitive. So they have a different criteria of what applications are accepted, what your GPA should be, what is the kind of work, your extracurricular work, any relevant work that you have done in your field so far. So that itself is, again, you can just Google search Erasmus Plus or Erasmus Mundus scholarships, and you get all the information on those scholarships, how to apply, where to apply, when to submit the application, what all is required to submit the application. Everything is explained in detail on the Erasmus website.
right. So great job summarizing these points, Tanvi, about the scholarships and what exams to give, basically.
Yeah.
Uh, so I guess that's it for this episode. We will have a part three on this, and we will discuss about next step, which is documentation and SOPs, and also after that we'll discuss visas too. So stay tuned, guys, and I'll see you in the next one.